Alia, watching you in Kapoor and Sons, I realized how refreshing it is to see a good actor uplift a good film merely by her presence in it. You know, it's not a film that belongs to you. You're not the central character. It's not what one would describe as a key role even.
Yeah.
And still, the film benefits by you merely being in it.
Yeah.
That generosity, that maturity is so refreshing. Or is it that you can't say no to anything that comes from Dharma Productions?
No, it's not that, because there have been films that I have not done from Dharma Productions. It's really actually just weird that it's Dharma is just making the films and they are coming to me and I am liking them, so I am doing them. And I don't think about banner, production and all of that. Of course, those are things that you think about when you're like, it's a new first time person and all. But here with Shakun, I had a certain feeling that even though it's not the key role, I would not be not looked after.
Right.
And genuinely, I strongly believe that we are here to be actors and play characters. It's not a project. So I'd rather be a small part of a really good film, which now we all know is, and rather than being a big part of an average film.
So let me ask you this. Would you have done Kapoor and Sons if it wasn't produced by Karan Johar?
I think, I mean, if it was still directed by Shakun, yeah.
Okay.
You know, there's a certain belief and there's a faith that you have in a director, and you just suddenly, honestly speaking, I didn't even overthink it that much. When Kapoor and Sons the talk was going on, Shakun not in 1,000 words would not have thought that, okay, I would have probably done that film. So he didn't even come to me with it. It was actually Aisha, who is the co-writer of the film, who does my hair, who said that, listen, we really want to come to you with this film. I said, give me the script, let me read it, let's then decide, na?
Sure.
Because they were just like, so like, oh no, she's not going to like it and all. So I read the script and I said, but guys, I love the film, I love the story, I want to be a part of it. And I just went and did it.
One of the things that's said most frequently to describe you is how natural you are on screen. It was evident from your very second film, actually, Highway. And one can see it in every film. There's an ease, there's a comfort. The camera loves you. What's the trick?
I love the camera too.
Okay.
There's no trick really. See, honestly, if you have a trick, then you're like Meryl Streep.
Right.
And there's no one like that right now. I don't know. I think I've just... Okay, maybe I've always loved looking at myself in the mirror. It sounds vain, but I mean, like, I grew up watching myself performing, acting, doing all that in front of the mirror. So the comfort was always there to be looked at.
Right.
So when the camera is looking at me, I just feel like that's where I belong. I feel like the safest in front of the camera.
There's no inhibitions.
No, I feel the safest in front of the camera. I feel like I can do anything and people won't say, oh, what is she doing? Because I'm in front of the camera. So I can do whatever I want.
Because there are roles you've done where there's very little on paper and still you manage to make those characters your own just by the comfort that you bring, you know, in front of the camera.
Honestly, I give all the credit to the director mainly because I feel like every director has a different tone.
Right.
So if you just follow the director's tone, then you automatically will have a different tone. I feel it's really boring. Of course, you should add your own every time, but it's very boring when you come with your own set idea of how you should play the character rather than probably just listening to the director. That's obviously if you have enough faith in the director. And just go with his drift. So that's exactly what I did with Kapoor and Sons. That's what I did with Humpty. That's what I did with Highway, of course.
So, you know, you made your debut with Student of the Year at 19. So you kind of grew up, you kind of grew out of your teens in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I know it's only been a few years, but how did you look at the journey? Did you feel like people judged you too harshly in the beginning?
Yeah, of course. But I think it's also good that people judge me because I feel there needs to be something, there has to be some growth and there has to be something to compare it to. So there has to be a before and after, whether it's physically, emotionally or whatever, talent-wise, there has to be before and after. And I'm not saying I'm an after right now. My after is still to come probably when I do my last film, which I hope is never. But I feel like there has to be some growth. So even though the judgment was really strong, and even though there is still some judgment even right now, I really like the fact that there is because I like to prove people wrong and I like to take it from point A to point Z.
Okay. You know, Alia, there was that whole dumb Alia phase. You really turned that around. You turned you kind of got in on the joke. You showed that you could laugh at yourself. What was it like within? Was there a point where it was painful?
No, not at all.
Really?
But honestly, I don't think it's still over. I feel number one, I feel people just use it now as like we need one more question to ask. So let's ask Alia, how do you take these jokes? honestly, it's boring now. I'm bored of these questions, and it never ever upset me, never hurt me, because it's weird, but I know I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm not. Firstly, dumb is the wrong word to use,
That's
but
right.
I know I'm not intelligent. I don't feel intelligence is measured with who's the prime minister, president, which
True.
country, which continent, what
True.
capital. I feel like intelligence is measured with your experience and the way you handle things, the way you speak, the choices that you make. And yeah, I feel that's why I feel like, oh no, it's fine if I don't know this.
But you know, actors are so averse to criticism. They're so defensive, they're so touchy when they're criticized. You don't have that. You have an almost chalta hai attitude to criticism. You kind of embrace it almost. In that, I feel you're so much like your father, Mahesh Bhatt.
Yeah, I think I got it from him. Maybe
Okay.
no, actually no. He says he's okay to criticism, but he gets very touchy. If you say one wrong thing about some poster, some this, he's like no, but you suddenly get defensive. No, but yeah, he explained to me about how it's very important to embrace the criticism and the negativity, because you can only learn from it. And if you don't agree with it fair enough, there's no point deflecting it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, people are going to have opinions. So if you're so happy about the good things that they say about you, you also have to have the same amount of joy about the bad things that they say about you. And I don't think it's going to harm me in any way if I just listen. And one thing he told me very loud and clear is that I should never be one of those people who feels like I know it all.
Right.
If I know it all, then what's the fun? So that's why one would accept criticism, because you don't know it all.
Sure. You've said that you're waiting for your father to write you a beautiful script. You've also said that he believed that you had talent, but only after he saw Highway.
I think he always knew I was an actor and I was his daughter. But I think when he saw Highway, it was like kind of reinstated for him and
Yeah.
for the world.
True.
So he could kind of say it a little bit more and stress on it a little bit more than my daughter's an actor.
Can you win an argument with him?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I don't think it's winning. It's more
Sure.
like I think I've won and he thinks he's made his point. So we call it truce almost, but we don't argue really. But he's very scared of his daughters. So it's me, Shaheen, Pooja. He's very scared of us. After a while, I think he just won't say anything and say, "Okay, baby, it's fine."
Your sister Shaheen and you appear to share a very close relationship with your half siblings, particularly with Pooja. Was there ever an awkward phase growing up?
Probably when I was in school and the people just say, oh, हमने magazine में पढ़ा है कि it's your father's married first got 5 times,
Right.
वो 5 बार हुआ and all, and I'm like, guys. But the thing is, what really I didn't think made it not awkward for me was the fact that he said it so simply, and he put it out there for us. It was not like, oh, a secret. He's like, listen, it was always understood that she is my second wife, she is your mother, and I love you both very much, but I also love Pooja and I also love Sunny, and we were brought up in a house where this was normal, and honestly speaking, it's as normal as any other household.
Sure.
So I think maybe the fact that we were brought up like that, it never felt abnormal to us, like as opposed to the rest of the world.
What kind of an influence has Pooja been on you as an actress? Has she ever given you advice?
I think, honestly speaking, Pooja has been a really, really strong influence as a person.
Okay.
She's such a brave, strong woman who says what she thinks. She's not here to fit in. And I think that's what she was also as when she was an actress. Everybody admired her for her courage. Everybody admired her for the way, how outspoken she was. And how she was not here to really emulate anybody or
Yeah.
try to be anybody. She was there basically, she created her own little niche. And I think that's what I'm here to do as well. So it also runs in the family. We're very hyper opinionated people who want our point to come across, and we're like, okay, we're not shy from expressing it. So I really learned a lot from her.
Alia, you've always been quite cool about talk over link-ups with your co-stars, be it Varun, Arjun, Siddharth. You've always been kind of, I don't care. When some gossip mongers, however, said that you were responsible for the Ranbir-Katrina split, you said it was so bizarre it didn't even merit a clarification. Do you find that you're easy target for gossip?
I wouldn't say easy target, but I feel like, when you are in the news for the good reasons, you also somehow...
You're young, you're successful, you're single.
Exactly. So somehow when you're in the news for the good reasons, you also land up being in the news for the bad reasons sometimes. I don't find it important giving a clarification because I feel like you're giving it too much attention unnecessarily.
Yeah.
But somebody asked me, I'll of course, give a clarification. But I also feel like as long as you're not really crossing a boundary, it's okay. I won't really go out of my way to get upset, angry or irritated if you're not crossing a boundary, and that's
Right.
like a really, really personal boundary.
Deepika Padukone once told me that this media doesn't allow actors to just date. You know, I mean, you go out for one dinner and there's so much attention that you're already being linked and you're already being called a couple even after like one dinner. Does that kind of make sense to you?
Yeah, but I also feel like it's something that's it gets people talking, right?
Yeah.
And it gets the mouths moving and the birds chirping. So I don't really have any hard feelings to it. Honestly speaking, even if I do, and even if they do link me up with somebody, like say I'm going out with Aditya Roy Kapoor for dinner tomorrow. I'm really close to Adi. I really like him. Somebody links me up, I'm not going to get upset.
Right.
As long as I'm aware. And as long as the people in my life are aware that okay, there's nothing happening, I'm okay.
But what if it's someone that could be a potential boyfriend, that could be a potential relationship? Does it jeopardize, this kind of attention? Does it jeopardize relationships? Kangana said somewhere that it's hard for actors to have relationships within the industry because there's just so much attention.
No, I don't agree with that. I feel like in fact, if I feel like the person is within the industry, of course the attention is there, but the person would understand, right, that the attention is bound to happen. So you just have to play your cards right and know what places not to go and eat. And
Do you speak from experience?
maybe.
There's so much talk of equal pay in Hollywood for women. Jennifer Lawrence wrote that essay. There's been several actors who've come out and spoken about it. The conversation has now kind of, been raised in Bollywood as well. Anushka Sharma's spoken about it, Kangana's spoken about it, Deepika's spoken about it. What's your take on it?
No, I definitely believe in equality if deserved. I don't feel like women should be paid the same amount only because they're women, but because
Right.
they deserve it. And because if they probably have the same market value or the same, like it's weird, but you do look at actors at the end of the day as products when you're bidding their price. And
Yeah.
if they have the same amount of excitement from the audience, if they're probably senior, if they're better actors, if they have more of a audience pull into the theatre, then why shouldn't they get paid? But only if they deserve it. I feel equality goes hand in hand with how much you're bringing to the table. So in that case, definitely.
Do you feel you're paid as much as Varun, Siddharth? I mean, at least actors in your own, of your own generation.
I can say for a fact that I'm not at the moment, but see, at the end of the day, we have to look at it in a way where I'm not complaining because
Yeah.
I feel I'm getting paid a very good amount for all the stuff that I'm doing, whether it's my brands, my endorsements. I don't really think when it comes to films that I would not do a film because I'm not getting paid X, Y, Z amount, or the actor's getting paid more than me. I don't even look at my account. Maybe I'm at that age right now where I don't really care. My mother's handling it and I know where it's going and it's safe. But yeah, when it comes to talking about like, oh, why wouldn't I get paid? Then you can sit down and talk about it saying, yeah, what's the reason?
Sure.
So, because we all started off together, so why shouldn't I get paid the same amount?
True.
But maybe there's some science behind it. Maybe, of course, I know for a fact that Varun is a bigger star than me. He has all his films done well, like his value is way more than mine, maybe, and at least in some way. For Stadium for that matter. I don't really know what goes, but I'm sure producers think about it when they are offering that price.
Right.
But I feel a little bit it's changing now.
Okay. What's the one fear that keeps you awake at night?
Oh. I think my biggest fear is failure. Keeps me awake at night. Honestly, I just fear I'll become a version of myself that I don't really like. That I'll let all the good things to make me do little bad things. And by I mean bad things is very simple. But how you just let it get to you, yeah. And just you change and you just like suddenly start behaving like this very not pleasant person to be around. So that's my biggest fear. Because I've been told this time and again as a kid when I was growing up by my father, but how it's very difficult. Like I remember him telling you that you have to treat a person who's just tasted success like a bomb blast victim.
That's right.
So I was like, okay, so maybe because I've been told these things again and again, I don't really want to become one of those irritating people.
Shandar was, in a sense, your first resounding flop.
Yeah.
What was that like? Did it make you feel low when the reviews first came in, when the numbers first came in?
I like that resounding flop. It sounds very great, yeah. Well, it was painful, I would be honest. But it wasn't painful because I didn't agree. It was painful because it was the first time it was happening where it did not do well. It was really bad. Like I remember really feeling really low because I can't deal with failure. I've lost one race when I was in school and I cried I couldn't believe that I lost that race. It was a book balancing race. I still don't count it as a race, however. I just could not believe it. And here, same way, it was just like, oh my god, it's happened. The bandage has been ripped, okay.
Right.
But it was not a film that, it was not a good film. It didn't connect with people. So
But how much before the release did you all know that, or did you know that we messed up?
the thing is,
And you still hope, of course.
you still hope. I did not see the full final copy until one day before the release. I knew that it was not what we wanted to make. That was what I knew. I didn't know whether it was a good or bad film.
Sure.
I just knew it was not what we wanted to make. You always hope that the audience will somehow probably find some connect with it. And eventually the audience did not, and I understood why. Like, it's not like I had any argument. Like, because for example, there was a film in Highway, there were people who did not like Highway as well. That I did not agree with. Like, I knew that Highway had its problems, but I was like, but why don't you like it? It's such a lovely film. I had that reaction to it. Eventually, not like I really had to fight it, because it went through very well and I was very well appreciated. I was very happy. But in this case, I did not want to defend it. And because I did not defend it like, oh, it was a good film. I will defend it saying that yes, when I signed it knowing what I was signing. So I will not regret doing Shandar. I still am very happy that I got the Vikas and Shahid. But yeah, eventually I knew why it did not click.
Did that failure kind of prepare you for failure?
Yeah, and in fact, I'm so happy that it happened, because I think I became a way calmer person after that. Like, I remember during this Kapoor and Sons, people were like, "Arey, nahi, track nahi kar raha hai, itna opening nahi hoga." And I'm like, guys, if it's a good film, it'll do well. Just let it go. Like, and I know that now. I know it now. I know the thing. It's just like, if it's a good film, it'll do well. Especially now.
Yeah.
Especially the phase we're in right now. It is the content that's driving the audience into the film, into the theaters.
You've been shooting with Shah Rukh Khan for Gauri Shinde's film lately. What's that been like? You know, there's a huge amount of curiosity about what that film is, about how the two of you guys are going to look together. Yeah. But just what's the experience of working with him been like?
I think amazing. I don't think I've ever had to really pinch myself and say, oh my god, I want a film set with Shah Rukh Khan. No, honestly speaking, it was amazing. And I think literally just being near him for even 15 minutes, you learn so much. And imagine I'm shooting a film with him. So I had the best experience, and he's so lovely with his actors. He's so giving, he's so there, he's so present, and I understand what it is. Like, it's his magic. He's like magical in front of the camera. It's not even like, he's not even saying anything maybe. It's like one look. It's magic.
Have you guys had any interesting conversations?
Yeah, several. We watched a movie together also, Trumbo, and we've chatted a lot. Me, Gauri, Shah Rukh, we would sit a lot in the evening and chat. On set, we would chat, and like, it's so interesting to just, and Shah Rukh's he's very like, always telling stories, and always acting it out, It's just lovely to just look at him. He's constantly like entertaining you, he's constantly keeping you engaged. And he has such lovely stories as well. You can learn so much from them.
Right. ALIA, the fact that you started when you were so young, the fact that your parents are both film industry folk, do you feel like that has come in the way of people taking you seriously as an adult? Do you find that you'll always be considered a child for the industry? Do you have to struggle to kind of make your point sometimes?
Maybe. I mean, maybe I'm okay with the child part. I'm not okay with the not taking me seriously part.
Sure.
So I'm okay being the child of the industry, because there's always a lot of love there.
Yeah.
So I'm okay, and I'm the only one maybe. So that's cool. And eventually I will grow up. But the not taking you too seriously part, just because I hail from a film family, just because my father's a director, and that is something that I don't necessarily agree with. So if somebody does put that point across, I will be stern enough to say, listen, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, I'm really here to do this, do that, and I will put that out clearly. But it's not like I'm dying for people to just believe. I'm okay. I have no complaints right now.
The fact that you're so young, do you feel that comes in the way of you landing parts that can go to other actors?
See, I feel like if it's not yours, it's not yours. It won't come to you. But like, I also feel like me being young has also giving me scope to do a lot more other things. Like, especially in this day and age where there are a lot of films being made for young girls, older guys, young girls. It's all over. Right now we're playing characters. I think it's a really good time, at least at this point. So I'm not feeling at this moment that it's really working for me as a disadvantage. In fact, I feel like everybody wants youngness. Everybody wants, youth.
True.
Oh, be young. Oh, be
True. The industry's kind of wired that way, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm young, so it's good.
Okay. Finally, let me ask you, ALIA, when you wake up every morning and go back and do a job that you've been doing now for about 4 or 5 years,
4 years,
4 years, what is it that drives you? Are there days when you just don't want to work? Do you love work every single day? What's it like?
I love being in front of the camera. I love being an actor, and I love performing. There are days that I do. Of course, it's not normal for me not to feel exhausted and not to feel like, why are we doing this? But that's usually when we're promoting. So it's never when I'm acting.
But it's true what you're saying, because today being an actor is so much more than just acting, isn't it? It's about promoting. It's about selling brands. It's about so many things.
Exactly. You know, but I love the creative part of it. I love creating, and I love being a part of something that's never been. So that's beautiful. And yeah, it drives me. I think, honestly speaking, when you wake up every morning knowing that when you were barely 3 or 4 years old, the only thought you had in your head was to be in that idiot box, and then you're finally doing it, I think you don't need any more drive than that.
Sure. Well, looking forward to you continuing to entertain us in the way that you have, in creating these enduring characters and giving us some lovely films like this one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.